Not sure that this happens very often, that all three of these mufflers are in the same place at the same time. So especially in 2022. So let's talk about mufflers for the 1100 Shadow Aces. I don't know if this is the same as the Sabres, but I think it is, because the Touring engine is the same as the Sabre, but don't quote me on this. I'm going to talk about the 1100 Ace. So this is off a 95. This is off a 98 Aero. And this is off a 2000 Tourer, which is here as a parts bike. So the main differences are, the Tourer is that jewelry look. The Aero is 2-into-1, and the Ace is a more traditional 2. So I started off with the Ace. I went to the Aero because I wanted to fit bigger saddlebags. Then along came this Tourer, so I grabbed that for cheap and used those pipes. So here I am. I've just finished up the pipes onto the Ace. Here are the differences. So the ones that are most similar are the Ace and the Aero, because they have some sort of hanger coming off them, and the Tourer doesn't. This is attached through the upper engine mount, lower engine mount. The back bolt goes into something or other. I don't even know what it's going into. And it's the same on the on the Ace and the Aero, although the Aero's is significantly bigger. And if you're going to go between these two, I recommend that you get that hanger as well, because it just lines up and it's very easy. It would have been hard to mount it. I would have had to extend that quite a lot to mount the Aero, and it would have been a pain in the butt. Now, where they actually mount, there's the top engine bolt, there's the bottom engine bolt, and this, now that I've converted it to the Tourer, this bolt is longer on the Ace and the Aero, and it comes out and it goes through, mosquito, it goes through the top of that hanger, which comes up from below, so that those hangers coming along and then up, behind and through. So the top one's attached to that. So if you're going, I could have kept the same engine bolt, but I had the Tourer here, so I took the shorter one out of the Tourer. If you were going from a Tourer to an Ace or an Aero, you would need a longer bolt. Now on the Tourer, on the lower one, you can see in there, that is a spacer. And it's pretty much the same kind of spacer as you'll find on your fronts. If you still have fronts, maybe they're gone if you've done a crash bar or something. But that spacer I took off the Tourer because that is filling the gap that the hangers took on the Ace and the Aero pipes. The other bolt, I don't know what that is going into. Am I getting it? Where is it? Yeah, so I don't know what that's going into. On the Tourer, the bolt was really long, so I just took another bolt and filled that hole, whatever it is, when I lost the hanger, but the hangers go into that bolt as well. On the other side, so you've got to remove the chrome cover, which is 2 clips that are kind of hiding on those, and 1 bolt at the bottom. Then it comes off a little bit like a side cover, and then you have access to the other end of those engine bolts, which you'll have to put a wrench on so they don't spin when you turn them. Torque them up to the right spec and in the right way, which involves a little bit of oil in the rubber, otherwise you'll get engine vibration. Now the Tourer, everything hangs off the the attachment, there's a bolt back there on the other side. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even see that. There's one there too. And it's not aligned. I'm gonna have to twist that maybe. Or ignore it. We'll see. So there's two either side. I thought there was only one on this side and two on the other. But if you're not going to get the Tourer rack stuff, then you'll have to fabricate something to hang these off. Differences between the Ace Tourer and Aero again. If you see, notice on the Tourer, it has this bolted on foot peg for the rear foot pegs. The Aero has something similar but doesn't have this rear hole. And the Ace is completely different. It is a welded on part. So I'm gonna have to work out, I'm gonna have to drop a little bracket off there. Make a little bracket to finish that up. Other compatibilities, the Tourer and the Ace are actually very, very similar. The side covers are the same, the fenders are the same. The only difference is the Tourer has these chrome parts, which I'm just tape that on to decide if I'm going to do that or not. I think I am. Same on the back. The Tourer has that big old chrome thing. This is also the turn signal cluster from the Tourer, and that fits in the same holes. I think the wiring is similar. It's compatible. The wiring is slightly different. On the Ace, there's separate wiring going to the tail light and the rear cluster. On the Tourer, it was all one harness that joined inside the stoplight, but it was the same colored wires and the same connectors. So I think those are in there. Well, yeah, I mean the Ace, yeah, I don't even remember what my Ace had because the turn signals used to be up top. So that was all customized before I got it anyway. These bags, I think they look pretty good. The one on the right, I just plasti dipped. The one on the left, I haven't given any love to yet. Somebody has hand painted them with a brush. But yeah, I mean, they're very similar, the Tourer and the Ace. The tank is the same. Those bars were the same as my original bars. I used to have that same Speedo before I did that. My headlight, yeah, so headlight bracket at the front is the same. Forks are the same. Yeah, forks are the same. I've since put covers on, changed the headlight mount. The biggest difference between the Tourer and the Ace and the Aero is that internally the Tourer is more like a Sabre and a later 1100 with the twin pin crank. So make it louder, it sounds worse, as opposed to make it louder and it sounds better. But yeah, I mean, so they're so the same. I took the rails off this to put them on the Ace because mine had been hacked around a little bit for the previous cases that I had on there. But I mean, yeah, they're so similar. Same rear brake pedal, same brake cylinder, same front grips, same buttons, same wiring colors. So yeah, very, very, very similar. Wheels obviously different in a stylized way, but there you go. Anyway, if anybody's switching between those three bikes, hope this is useful. The Aero is the most different. The Aero, I went and measured one at a local shop recently. The Aero forks are wider, the fenders are wider, the front fender is wider. The front fender might fit on these, but I wouldn't like to spend the money to find out. I think it's a little bit wider, and these are pretty tight as it goes. So yeah, the Aero in terms of styling is different. I think the frame is very similar, but this part is different on the Aero. The fender is wider in the Aero. Yeah, so I don't think it would be as easy to put these pipes on an Aero. There you go. Hope this is helpful to someone.